Good morning, fifth graders. I am using page 149 of your language text to go over the instructions, rules for colons, hyphens, and semicolons. I ask that you have your book open and you read along as I discuss the information that's given to you in the blue sections at the tops of the pages. First, we're going to discuss the colon. A colon basically has three uses. A colon is two dots, one on top of the other. You use a colon between the hour and the minute when you write the time. And they give you the example of 11:30 p.m. If I were to write the time that it is right now, it's 11:43 a.m. So you can see the colon right here. Okay? The next use of the colon is in the salutation of a business letter. If you look at the second example, it shows you the example, "Dear Sir," and then there's a colon. Now, we would not use this in a friendly letter. This is only for use in a business letter. Reasons that you, as a fifth grader, might have to write a business letter. Some of you have been interested in writing important people in the government, maybe your governor or the President of the United States of America. It's very common to use a business letter format instead of a friendly letter format to address those individuals. So you would use a colon for that because it indicates formality. You could also use it if you were writing to a company that has made a product that you are discussing with them. Maybe you've ordered something and it did not come as you expected it to come. Maybe it was broken in the packaging when you received it through the mail. You might write a letter to that company to let them know what happened as it was in transit to you. And you would use a colon after your salutation or to whom you're directing the letter in that instance. The third instance that is given is one that is very familiar to us in our school, and that is using it for a scripture reference. Colon rule 3 gives you the example of John 3:16, and they use the colon to separate the chapter and the verses. So if I were to write another Bible verse with that particular use of the colon, maybe I would write Psalm 119, and we've recently learned verses 1 through 16 altogether. So you can see the colon separating the chapter and the verses. That's pretty simple. I need to add another. Oh, that didn't work. This way. I did it. Okay, I'm learning too. All right, the next rule that we want to discuss is the hyphen rule. A hyphen is a dash. A hyphen can be used to divide words if you're writing on a page and you can't fit the entire word on that space and you want to continue it on the next space. But there are some rules that we have to follow in order for us to divide a word. So look at the note at the bottom half of the blue section on page 149. You do not ever divide a one-syllable word. They give you the example of fright. Even though fright has several letters, I'm not going to divide that word because it's only one syllable. So I have to have a two-syllable word before I can divide it. So if I'm talking about Eli's name, even though his name is very short, Eli has two syllables, E-lie. So I would divide it like this, E-lie. The second rule says, do not place a single letter of a word at the beginning or end of a line. So I would not use that division to write his name if I'm writing it in a paper, like on a line. I could not say, I could not get to the end of my line and then write E dash and then lie on the next line. That's not appropriate. It's not enough letters. I could go ahead and write in the margin to finish that person's name rather than using the dash. The third one says do not place ed or any other two-letter ending at the beginning of a line. So in other words, if I have added a suffix to a word, I'm not going to divide that suffix from the rest of the word at the end of a line. Like divide the end of the word would not come. Ooh, that's not going to work. Let me try to add another. There we go. So I could not put Shirley because this is a suffix. I'm not going to separate my suffix from the end of the word. The fourth one says avoid dividing any word at the end of a line if you possibly can. So there's a little bit of exceptions that can be made, especially when fifth graders are writing formal papers where you are just going to continue to write in the border. But you shouldn't make that a habit either. You kind of have to use your judgment, and it's going to take some practice to figure out the times when it's appropriate to use that hyphen or when it is not. Now turn to page 150, and you'll see there's only one semicolon rule. On the top of 150, it says use a semicolon to separate the parts of a compound sentence if they are not joined by a conjunction, and, but, or, nor, for, or yet. So the example says the entrance of thy words giveth light, and you'll see that semicolon there. Oops, I'm still in the wrong color. Let me try it with red like they did. It giveth understanding unto the simple. And you'll notice the diagram to the side. First of all, both of those sentences in that compound sentence are imperative. So you have an understood you for your subject. And then you use the same format for joining the two parts of your the two sentences, the two parts of the compound sentence, where I use a dotted line and then a line going across a horizontal line and then another dotted line, and those are joined at the verbs. But instead of putting my conjunction on that horizontal line in the center, I'm using an X to show that the conjunction is actually understood just like my subject is understood. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the instructional portion of this lesson. We have several exercises to complete. I'd like for you to do on page 149 the right section 1 through 4 only. You don't have to do number 5. And then on page 150, complete only think A and think B. And if you have any problems, please be sure to let me know either in the chat, or you can email me or text me, whatever you feel like would be the easiest way for you to contact me. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.